Hey everyone, welcome back to Woo Woo Wednesday, where I share my intuitive insight and weekly wisdom with you through the use of oracle cards. I'm so excited for you to join me here on Woo Woo Wednesday because today it is 9-9, and 9 is one of the highest revered numbers in creation. And if you add 9 and 9 together, and any 9 multiple, they always come back home to themselves. So it's interesting to see how so many of us are actually going through this collective change and transformation where we're being called to come back to who we authentically truly are. What you might be noticing this week is that a lot of our old past struggles and pains and old beliefs that we've had in the past that shaped us in a way that isn't serving us now is actually coming up to be released, not to be relived. So don't get confused if you've had some anger come up this month, or if old relationships start to kind of make their way into your life so that they can be either released or healed or maybe even deepened at this time. So I think this week is one where we're gonna see a lot of emotions being stirred, especially anger. Anger has been coming up a lot in the work that I've been doing with my clients and even in my own personal PMS week, you know what I mean? So I wanna take a moment to tune in and see how are you guys feeling this week. Say hello if you're watching live, let me know where you're watching from, and is this your first time on Woo Woo Wednesday? All right, I'm gonna grab my cards. Hey, so good to see you guys. I decided to grab 2 decks today. The first deck, of course, is my Shine from the Inside Oracle, and the other one was inspired because today, I don't know where you guys are at, but it is pouring rain. And so I feel like nature is kind of like giving us a cleanse, like a fresh start. I feel like so many people are closing one chapter and beginning to start a new one. And so this week I decided to pull a card from the Nature's Whispers Oracle because I feel like nature has a message for us. We're in a season and a cycle of change. So I'm gonna pull cards from both decks today and see what comes up. First time in Denton, Texas. Well, hello neighbor, I'm over in Frisco, not too far from you. It's so good to have you here. I'm in the UK, rainy in Tampa. Okay, hey Ashley, so good to see you guys. Let me know how you guys are feeling this week. I wanna know, take a moment to tune in on a scale of 1 to 10. How are you feeling right now? Are you feeling pretty good, like a 7, 8? Are you feeling like absolute crap, like 2, 3? Are you like, I'm okay, I'm like doing all right, I'm in the middle, maybe a 5? Or are you someone who's like, I am fucking great right now, like I'm an 11? Where are you at right now? Because at the end of this, I'm gonna ask you to tune in and see how do you feel, because I feel like today we're gonna have some messages come through that help to create a higher perspective, to help expand your horizon so you see things with more clarity. And in turn, that'll kind of lighten the load a little bit. Something we taught yesterday in the masterclass for the Elevated Life Club was all about having a positive mental attitude. And we taught this process called the stop method, where you actually stop yourself in the tracks of those negative thought loops that you create. And it was so interesting to see that the techniques that we taught actually were helping people in that moment. We even had an elevator say, I was on the phone and having a crazy conversation and I was able to apply that method and not like tear her up, you know? So it's really important right now for you to actively choose the way that you're looking at things. It's so easy to get sucked down the negative, like depressing spiral rabbit hole of bullshit. It is way too easy to get trapped on that. But the good news is it's just as easy to get hooked into searching for the silver lining, always giving yourself that grace and knowing that every moment will pass in time. So it's up to you if you're gonna, they say to accept what is to end suffering. And if you can accept the good and the bad, the highs and the lows, you'll have this feeling of freedom throughout the entire flow of your journey because you're no longer resisting it. And I feel like there's some resistance around releasing some of the things that aren't working for us in our life right now. 7, feeling hopeful. That's amazing. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let me catch up with you guys. Oh my gosh, I feel like this happened last week. Let me see. I feel like my comments on Facebook aren't coming through. I don't know why. They're always changing the platform. Okay, I'm sorry y'all. I can't see what you're writing on Facebook, but I'll definitely tune in at the end to answer any questions that you guys have. Okay, so I am gonna pull some cards from the Shine from the Inside Oracle and the Nature's Whispers Oracle deck. So I've set the intention that all of us watching right now receive the message that we need most. This whoa, this week, they're already talking that we received the message that we need most this week. Okay. I think they know. I think they know that they're ready that we're ready for the message that we need. What will you have us know? And then actually I'm gonna pull the third card from the Nature's Whispers Oracle. I love to pull 3 cards. Sometimes, you know, extras pop out and we just have to roll with it, but I'm gonna pull the final card from the Nature's Whispers deck. And I'm gonna show you guys this really quick. We are ready. I know, right? I think Spirit is ready too. This is one of my favorite decks that I have picked up while I was traveling in Iceland. It's a really beautiful deck to remind you that there's always seasons of change. And you know, with nature, there is always an opposite, right? So when there are high times and good times, there's also low times and dark times. You know, we've got winter, we've got summer. So I love this deck, and was inspired by, I have like, you guys know, I probably have like 20 something decks, and I pulled out my drawer and I'm like, which one am I gonna use today? I think I walked in there 3 times and picked 3 different decks. And I usually don't do that. I always am like, this is the one, but I kept sitting down to hit record, and then I would hear like that, no, you need a different deck. Okay, so this is the deck we're going with. So I'm gonna ask what message we need from Mother Earth, from nature right now. We're seriously, even I think she's going through a collective transformation and rebirth at this time. Okay, let me just catch up with your comments. I am really looking for a sign from the universe. Well, if you're looking for a sign and you ask for what that sign that you want is, if you're specific with the sign that you want, it happens a lot faster, because a lot of the times when we just open-endedly ask our guides, hey, can you show me a sign? The signs are hitting us left and right, but we're so narrow focused on, I have to get this one specific sign, but you don't realize that you're kind of narrowing your focus, or you're not even recognizing that maybe some of those small things could be the sign that you're asking for. So I like to get specific when I ask my spirit guides for signs, or the universe for signs. In particular, my first spirit sign, or spirit symbol is what I call it in the guidebook, in the Shine from the Inside Oracle guidebook. I call it a spirit sign or spirit symbol. And the first one I ever asked for was a pink car, because how often do you guys see pink cars? Not very often. And so I thought, if I set, this is the sign that I want from the universe to show me that I'm on the right path, then I'll know when I see a pink car that that's exactly what I was looking for. So get specific with your spirit signs and ask for something that only you would find relevance in, you know. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love. All right, you guys ready to dive in? First card for the week from the Shine from the Inside Oracle is change one thing, start small today. This is a great reminder that when we are being called to change, that we don't have to do a massive overhaul on every single area in your life. When we create change in one area, it naturally ripple effects and everything else is affected. So when you want to think about what is that one small change, think about, if I changed one thing in my life, how would that positively impact other areas of my life? For example, that one small change that I made over a decade ago for my health was to eliminate buying sodas or drinking sodas. Now, I didn't overwhelm myself and like, I have to lose 75 pounds. I'm not healthy. I eat like shit. Like, those were all true for me. But it was overwhelming to try to change all that and try to drop a lot of weight. And so for me, I decided I'm gonna start so small. I'm gonna pick one thing that I know I can do, and I'm gonna eliminate soda. And you know what happened after that? After I went through the detoxing period of the caffeine, I realized I feel really good, and that motivated me to make the next change. So when you're thinking about changing something in your life, don't overwhelm yourself and freak out by changing literally everything. Just pick one thing. So I want to know, what's that one small thing that you're going to commit to changing? Whether that be a mindset or an attitude, or something that you have to do physically, like remove something from your diet or your life or your relationships or your job. Or maybe you're going to commit to one small thing in showing up for your business. You're going to finally write that blog post, or you're going to start that Instagram account, or whatever the case may be. You're going to buy that URL domain. You're going to hire that business coach. What's that one step that you're going to commit to that will create that ripple effect of change? All right, next card comes up. Oh, wow, guys, step out of your comfort zone and try something new. What a great card to follow. Change one thing, start small. So you're being called to make this change. You're being called to do something different. And that's gonna require you to have courage to step outside of your comfort zone to do this new thing. Because when we change one thing, that means we're gonna have to do something new and different. And that's exactly what this card represents, is that reminding you that the magic happens outside of your comfort zone. It's actually not comfortable at all. It's stagnant. And when we get stagnant, it's hard for us to flow and move in that creativity and abundance, to be this vehicle that is in constant flow is the only word that's coming through right now. It's in constant flow. So this is saying that maybe you've been feeling stagnant. Maybe you've been feeling stuck. Maybe you've had these ideas, but your fear or your worry or your lack of self-confidence has stopped you from taking that step or that leap. Trying something new in your business, or trying something different in the way that you show up, or your fear of being seen and how you show up in your business or in your relationship. This is saying you will be rewarded once you take that step outside your comfort zone, because that is you committing in faith and trust and following your own intuition. So has there been something that you've been feeling nudged to do something new, to try a new routine, to start a new job, to connect with new people, or start a new practice? Maybe you've been called to yoga or meditation. Chris and I just signed up after 8 years of practice. We decided this month we would sign up for yoga teacher training. And that was something that is pushing us outside of our comfort zone, in that we've always practiced for us at home. And of course we teach yoga in the Elevated Life, and we never really thought like, oh, we'll get our certification and like do something with this. But it's amazing how if you just have the courage to try something new, step outside your comfort zone, it actually unlocks so many doors that you would have never seen before you took the action. And so now that we've signed up and we've committed to this journey, it's unlocked other possibilities and avenues for us to express ourselves and our wisdom and the love that we have to share with the world. So what is interesting is sometimes you are looking for that like final destination for it to hit you right in the face, but really it's just that first step that will actually create the bigger picture for you to have the clarity to see, oh, I'm actually on my way, and these steps will lead me to the place that I actually want. But when you're standing at step one and it doesn't seem like a direct line to it, it can feel a little uncomfortable, because you don't know what is this leading to, what is on the other side. But if you're being called to try something new and do something different, even if you're not exactly sure how it's going to play a part in your life, it's important for you to follow what feels good, and and eliminate the fear that stops you from saying yes to that. Because anytime we do something new, anytime we change, fear comes up. And it's interesting when people tell me all the time, I have a fear of the unknown. Well, that's bullshit, because every single moment is unknown. Like, what are you living in fear 24/7? No, you only live in fear when you project worry. When you start worrying about the future and projecting an image of what you don't want. And as we know, our imagination is extremely powerful, and what you focus on tends to be realized and expand. So if we're focusing on worry, we're going to end up attracting something like that into our life, which is going to prove to us that maybe we weren't good enough after all. And then we sit down and pout and we don't move forward, and then we question, why isn't anything changing for me? It's because we allowed that fear of failure to stop us in that first step. Don't allow that first fumble to stop you on your journey. Get back up, dust yourself off, learn the lesson, don't do it again, and move forward, but don't give up. All right, next card comes from the Nature's Whispers Oracle. Let's see how this ties in together. Ooh, catch your breath. This is important because our breath is the one thing that controls our nervous system. And anytime you are feeling anxious, you typically hold your breath. You hold it up here in your chest, and you don't actually breathe into your belly. So this is saying, take a pause, take a step back. Take time to figure out, what am I gonna do? What are those next steps? What direction do I wanna go? I've been given a new opportunity to create a new chapter in my life, but before I embark and just plow forward and hustle, go, go, you have permission to pause. You can take a moment to catch your breath. And when we can control our breath, we can control our nervous system. And when we can control our nervous system, we can control our fear. So you can actually have fear arise, but instead of it consuming you and overwhelming you, you can use tools like breathing techniques to be able to reverse that anxiety and actually find comfort and clarity in knowing that when fear comes up, it's because I'm taking a step outside my comfort zone. Instead of it overwhelming me, I'm going to use that as fuel to move me past that breaking point that you have to get through when you build that momentum to start something new. It's always the hardest part in the beginning, that push forward. And that's really where fear is so resistant. I think that's what takes so much effort to push through it when we start something new. So this is saying, take a breath, like take a pause, because you're about to need a lot of energy to move forward and try something new and step outside your comfort zone. So take time for self-care, take time for self-massage, get into a yoga or breathing practice. You know, one of the things that we're doing in our yoga teacher training is starting the day off with breath work, which is something that we already incorporate and teach inside the Elevated Life all the time. And so it was really cool to see that in this extended journey of learning, that breath work is still at the core and the base of everything that we stand for and teach. And so to see this come up and to be someone who is very excited and empowered to chat about breath work and how to control your breathing. It seems like such a simple thing because we've been so unconscious to it and we've just done it naturally on automatic our whole life. But when we can take conscious control of something like our breath, then that shows that we have the awareness, the focus, and the concentration that it takes to be able to create and shape our reality. All right, oh my gosh, I don't know who's channeling through me today, but it is some deep, profound wisdom, and I am even loving it myself. Are you guys enjoying these card readings today? Which card resonated most with you? Is it change one thing? Are you being called to let go of something and start something new? Is it step outside your comfort zone because you know you need to make that change, or maybe you've started to make that change, but you've been afraid to really leap or really to move forward with it, and maybe fear has been holding you back. Now it's time to break through. Or are you at that point where you're like, I have done some work, I am tired, I gotta get ready for the next round, I need to take a break, take a pause, take a breather. Where are you guys at? Let me know which card resonated most with you this week. And if you know a soul sister who would love this message, please tag her in the comments below, like, subscribe, do all the magical things that you need to do to spread the good vibes. And if you have any questions, woo, lightning just happened. If you have any questions around tarot, oracle, woo-woo, business, I mean all the things, I love being able to answer your questions and to help to empower you to break free of the fear that holds you back from confidently shining your light. Oh, breather. Yep, first one, definitely. So what is that one thing you're gonna change? I am curious to know. For me, the thing that I needed to change at the beginning of the year was getting on my mat consistently, because there was a period of time where I decided I'm tired of working out. I'm tired of like putting my body through all these crazy workouts because we were competitive CrossFitters and it was a lot and I was tired, and I've been in sports since I was before kindergarten. So I needed to give my body a break, and now that I did, I'm like, okay, now we have balance. Let's come back to it. And my goal for this year was to deepen my yoga practice and stay committed. I did not know that it would end in me getting my yoga certification for teacher training, but it's so interesting how when you just set that intention, you just put it out there, I want more of this, or I need help with that, the answer shows up and finds you. But you have to have the willingness and the courage to set the intention and put it out there. So what's that one small thing that you're gonna change? I'm so tired of being triggered, to be honest. Well, then eliminate the triggers, honey. No one outside of you has the ability to actually change you. If you're being triggered by someone outside of you, that is a clear reflection of needing to look inside and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Why would I allow someone outside of myself to basically take my power, to own my power? All of the triggers that you are experiencing from other people are just a deeper reflection of you. So if you're tired of being triggered, then you have to heal the wound that is being triggered by other people. Committing to a consistent routine of self-care. That is so smart, because self-care is number one. It's called self-care because no one else is going to do it for you, and we have to fill our cup if we're going to go out and give of our love and talents and skills to the world. This is why I created the Shine from the Inside Oracle deck. It was so that everyone would be inspired to pick a card every single day and commit to their self-care. Each card represents a different self-care ritual or act that you can do for yourself, all the way from forgiveness to changing habits to clearing up fear, to learning to be your authentic self, to believing in yourself with the confidence, to manifesting, like all of the lessons that I teach in Shine School, my online course of self-discovery, are lessons that are in each one of these cards. And I mean, this one's been huge. Stop judging and start loving. I've heard so many people tell me this week that they've pulled that card over and over and over again. So this deck was really designed to help people stay consistent on their self-care journey with their rituals, so that they would have some fun tool to help inspire them to keep that consistency going. for me, I personally have been reading tarot and oracle cards for over 8 years, and it's the one tool that I have consistently stayed with, that I don't skip a day. I feel incomplete if I haven't taken time to reflect, to pull a card, to journal, to really connect with my soul. So what is that one self-care ritual that you're gonna connect to that really lights you up and fills you up? That's one of the lessons I help teach people in Shine School right in the beginning of the journey of self-discovery, because a lot of people don't even know. I don't know what I'm passionate about. I don't know what I love. I don't know what would make me feel better. And so we go through and explore the things that light you up, so that when you create that consistent self-care routine and you have that time dedicated every single day, because if you don't schedule it, it ain't happening. Another lesson in that same module. If you don't know what lights you up and you don't have it scheduled, you're gonna skip it, and you're gonna automatically go into response mode and trying to fix and heal and help everybody else. So it's important for you to schedule your self-care. The triggers aren't from other people's, it's just happening in my mind. The universe is showing me people who look like the girl he cheated on me with. It's not easy. The universe is showing you girls that look like people that he cheated with. Like, golly, you know what I'm trying to say. You're seeing those images because you're replaying them in your mind over and over and over again. And until you heal that wound of the fact that you feel unlovable or unworthy because he cheated on you with someone who looks a certain way, is the trigger for you to work on with your own self-love, healing, and self-worth. And it's not easy. It's not easy, but you keep seeing images of people that look like this person because you're playing them over and over and over again in your mind. So if you want to stop being triggered and stop attracting girls that look like this certain way, then you have to eliminate that thought pattern from your mind by focusing on something else. Focus on a vision of you and how amazing you look when you're in your best, most goddess self. We have to change the images that we make in our mind. And this is exactly what we taught yesterday in the Positive Mental Attitude Masterclass in the Elevated Life, is how to shift from those negative images to the positive, because we are a magnet, a beacon, an attractor. And if we are putting out images of things, even if we don't want them, the universe is like, hey, okay, this is what you want, here you go. The universe doesn't understand when we worry or project things that we don't want, that's what we don't want. It only understands the image that you're constantly beaming out. So if you're beaming out images of worry and of girls that you don't want to see, you're going to keep attracting it. So change the images that you're creating in your mind to help attract new things in your life. All right, any other thoughts or questions about how you're feeling, how you're moving through this, what's going on in the world? This is an important time of change, and it's our job to clear up a lot of the pain that we've been carrying from the past. Like I said in the beginning, we're at a time of rebirth, and it's important for us to leave the fear in the past and take the lessons and the wisdom and the love that we did receive out of the hard times in life and build our new foundation on that. All right, if you guys don't have any questions for me for this week, then I will hop off of here. Be sure to catch the podcast that's coming out on Monday. Chris and I have decided to move the podcast over to Mondays. So our next podcast is dropping on Monday about how to stop the feeling of imposter syndrome. And then next week we'll actually be in Destin, Florida, and we've got a podcast coming out on psychic abilities and how to develop them. This was one of my favorite topics, so I shared a lot of how I got into this practice, how I would have never had any idea I'd be a psychic tarot reading hairstylist business coach / unicorn. Like, I would have never guessed, but here I am, and now I want to teach you how to develop your intuition so that you constantly have the confidence and the clarity to take that next step along your life path and purpose. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. It has been so much fun to connect with you guys. If you'd like a private reading, shoot me a DM or check out brittanycarmichael.com/tarot, and you can book a 1-hour session with me. All right, thanks guys. I will see you. I don't know if I'll be on live next week since we'll be in Destin. I kind of want to unplug and just recharge my batteries. So be sure to check out the podcast, search for The Elevated Life on whatever platform you love to listen to. All right, thanks for tuning in. Let me know how you enjoyed this, and I will catch you guys soon. Peace.